Well, today we're here in London. Apple and stairs, chairs. Apple and what? What? Apple and hairs, chair. What? Apple and pears, stairs. Hey, today we're in London. Apple and pears, chairs. Forget it. We've come to check out the Royal Mail Museum. Here we go. So I've just completed my 10-year service with Royal Mail and they've invited me down to the museum today so I can have a look around how they used to do it in the old days. So here we are in the British Postal Museum in London. So here we are outside the Post Museum. We're going to go inside, have a look around and see what it's all about. Just before we start, they do have these things here. It's very handy if you can't walk very far. So you can still see the displays. It's pretty good thinking.
The mail stops for no man.
So, due to declining subscribers, I decided to bring a new segment into the show. It's Oscar, the squirrel. Hi everybody. Hi Oscar. I'm a horse. Oscar's a horse. So there's lots of things to try and see, and it explains all the history of the Royal Mail. 500 years rich in it all. It seems to be really enjoyed by lots of adults and children alike. What's that? Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Good idea. This is a hell of a uniform to wear. I would not want to wear this. I don't know about the hat though. Maybe the hat's pretty cool actually. One way around. Well, here's one thing I didn't know. The bottom of this box is white and the top's light as well. As you'll probably know, all post boxes are black at the bottom. So why is that? Well, it says here, during the Second World War, the boxes were painted white to avoid people walking into them during the blackouts. It's a good idea. Oh, bloody hell. A lot of people probably knew that the Royal Mail Post Office was combined under the GPO, General Post Office. But what you probably didn't know was, they used to have a bus service as well. This is a post bus, and they were used all over the UK to get people ferry around for one fixed price again. That's a real Royal Mail post bus. I actually did watch somebody on YouTube give one of these to a kid, and they wasn't able to fathom out how to use the telephone. Am I old? So currently here, there's an exhibition on the Great Train Robbery. Let's go and check it out. So that's the first part of the museum done. Now off to the second part, the mail rail. So once you've looked around the first part, your ticket also allows you to cross the road and go on the original mail rail. Now this rail has been reopened recently so the public can ride it. Originally it was just for carrying the post under London City to get it between all the delivery offices. So let's go over there and have a look at that. Got a bit of a top tip for you, right? If you're a bit of a tight arse like I am, there's a machine here, look. And you can buy a souvenir stamp and it's the same price as a normal first class stamp. So you get yourself a nice stamp to commemorate the day. There we go. Like a bargain. So one of the things that has surprised me when I was coming here is how busy it is. So if you are going to come, I do recommend you booking online before you arrive to make sure you get your ticket for the mail rail train. I don't know if you can see, but the floor moves. The floor moves like you're on a proper train. This is what the original mail rail was like. These are half Yorks. We still use half Yorks now and actually considered modern. So that's what we're talking about. So that's the mail rail side of it. Bar, of course, the actual ride. So let's get our tickets. Let's get in that big ass queue and let's go on the ride.
Everyone, welcome aboard the Mayrail. Please try not to leave the doors, otherwise that will cause the train to stop. Thank you and enjoy the ride.
Hello and welcome to Mail Rail. You're about to explore some of London's hidden underground postal railway. I'm Andy, your guide today, and I'm joined by Ray Middlesworth. Hi, Ray.
Hi. I worked here as an engineer for 27 years, keeping the trains running. And not just any old trains. This unique narrow gauge railway was designed to carry mail, not people. So if you're feeling a little cramped, that's why. And although we have a driver today, the original mail trains were driverless.
It was a huge network of automated electric trains running right under central London, carrying mail between main railway stations and sorting offices much faster than along the congested streets above our heads. And it's amazing to think construction of the railway began as far back as 1914, with the tunnels dug by hand. Work was put on hold during the First World War, but when the railway finally opened in 1927, it cut the journey time across London from a few hours to just 30 minutes.
It was an engineering marvel. Mail ran almost non-stop, night and day, for over 75 years until 2003.
As we explore, we'll be going back in time to see tunnels, loading platforms, and a few surprises. We'll be at our first stop in a few minutes. Ray, could you tell us about that? Sandbags on the line.
That's called the sand drag. There's a pile of sand on the track designed to stop runaway trains. If they run down that hill we've just come down, that will catch them.
On the day it shut down in 2003. Ray, can you describe it for us?
When Mailrail was running, this platform would be a hive of activity. You'd see people playing darts between the trains arriving, guys conversing back and forth and wheeling work up and down. It was a noisy and lively place to work.
Ray's going to tell you more about life working on the railway as we take a trip down memory lane through the many decades of mail rail.
We're under Mount Pleasant sorting office, heading east to Whitechapel. It was hard work down here, but we all thought we were part of something important. There was enormous team spirit. We seemed to get ourselves in the news a lot in the 90s. It didn't hurt that Bruce Willis made a film down here called Hudson Hawk. In the 80s, we had our 60th anniversary. Along with that, we had a new brand and finally some new trains. I'll tell you two things that sum up the 70s. Postcodes. made life a lot easier, and strikes made life not so easy. The swinging 60s. Those World Cup stamps sold out after England won. There were a few celebrations down here that summer. In the 50s, air travel became much more common, and so did airmail, and that meant even more of it travelled along mail rail. The railway was bombed several times. This station suffered the most damage when it was hit in 1943. Amazingly, the railway was back up and running the very next day. That reflected how vital the railway had become.
Liverpool Street Station, where mail was transferred to the main railway network. Further down that tunnel, it looks like a maintenance crew was checking the flood barriers.
This side's good. What's that like?
Big heavy steel doors that close it off.
During the railway's construction, 10 men scrambled to safety when the nearby River Fleet broke into where they were digging. The barriers here were installed later, after the war, but they'd never had to be used.
Ray, there's something else here that people might be interested in. Can you tell us about that?
When we move off just up ahead, look down towards the track. You might catch a glimpse of the train graveyard where disused trains are stored. I must have worked on all of them at some time or other.
Don't worry, everybody. Just a power cut. Ray, can you explain?
Power cuts happened from time to time when the railway was operational. We could draw power from the next station along to keep everything running. And of course, us guys in the engineering teams always kept the trains and track in good order.
Okay, on we go.
Really made me jump there. People that know me won't be surprised at that.
Then there was no email, texting, or instant messaging. People relied on the mail much more than today, especially at Christmas. So there was a lot to move. Trainloads of mail arrived at every station every few minutes, with less than 60 seconds to unload and reload. Let's follow a few of those letters. This is the Colonel. He's writing to the BBC. This is Kathleen. She's keeping in touch with her sweetheart in the Navy. And this is Mary. Her letter is very special because it's going to, ho ho ho, Father Christmas.
Darling Bert, I can't tell you how sad I am that you're not coming over Christmas. That maybe has a lot to answer for. I've a good mind to go to the Embassy office and give them what for.
To the Director General, British Broadcasting Corporation, I have recently purchased a television apparatus and feel compelled to inquire as to whether you are planning to broadcast moving pictures of the King's speech on Christmas Day.
Dear Father Christmas, it's me again, Mary Reardon. I wrote to you last year, if you remember. I asked for a puppy, but you brought me a doll's house instead. But I do still really want a puppy.
Father Christmas saying, the drawing of a puppy. Must be important. In you go. Here we go again. Christmas. Come through. On that blooming cat. That's an advantage, is it? I would say that's it's fine, Tony. What are you getting ready?
Must go now, or I shall be late for work. Take good care of yourself, Bert, my love. And Merry Christmas, my darling. Kathleen.
I look forward to your response with keen anticipation. Yours sincerely, Colonel Arthur Bingley Crouch, retired.
Perhaps this year will be a bumpy year for puppies. I hope so. If there are any spare ones, I will be very grateful for one. Wishing you a very happy Christmas. Mary Reardon.
So those 3 letters travelled along mail rail and got delivered quickly and safely.
You could say that mail rail was the beating heart of the British postal system.
Well, there we go. That was our trip on the mail rail. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, if I'm honest with you, and I didn't really know who was going to be here. It is obviously a very unique experience, should one say. I've been on a couple of unique experiences, and this is probably the most unique. No, maybe not the most unique. I've done some really good experiences anyway. Would I recommend it? For the price, I would recommend it. If you like to just get out there and do random stuff, this is an ideal thing to do. It does help you have a slight bit of interest in mail or post offices or trains or any of those kind of categories. But if you don't, it's an inside to something you've probably never ever seen before, and these are really great experiences. And for the price, well, just go out there and enjoy yourself. Anyway, thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you again soon.